Hello, I'm Zebarsis, and this is The Teaching of Isaac, Episode 2. So to begin, I've already chosen a character ahead of time, as before, because I don't want to random the keeper or the loss, so I used a random number generator, and the character it chose for me is Judas. So let's begin. Now Judas is kind of hard because he only starts with one heart, but at least he makes up for it by dealing a lot of damage. And Book of Belial is really helpful. Not only does it increase your damage, but it naturally increases your chance for a double deal as well, without even having to activate it. Sometimes you could take advantage of these pots. You may notice that he didn't even fire when I wasn't in line of sight. And I'm going to say this in every video probably, but in most cases it's best to not use your pills until the very end. Because you never know if you're going to get a question mark pill or amnesia. It's also helpful to assess how much health there is on the map, because sometimes you could get bad trip as well. That was close. But great thing about Judas though in this case, with only one heart, if he does get bad trip, it's actually not going to hurt him. It'll just swap to a different pill temporarily. But if you ever have more health than that, then it's just going to be a full health pill instead. So this item right here, I generally don't find it too helpful. I mean, it's kind of cool, and the more tiers you shoot into it, the stronger it becomes, but in some situations it's actually more of a hindrance than a help. But, I grab it anyway. That's just been my personal experience with it. I haven't really found any good synergies with it. I'm sure they're out there, because pretty much everything has a synergy. Okay, now this is actually scary because one tap from one of these guys and I'm totally history because of their champion status. Okay, that's just a tease. I need a bomb. And if I'm really lucky, this pill might be explosive diarrhea or horf, so I can go ahead and blow it up. Now, there's probably a secret room here actually. A super secret room. I don't have any bombs, but I want it. So it's a little risky in this case because I have only one heart. But I'm going to try to use him to get the super secret room. Okay, maybe not. His head blew off. And, well, I still have a chance. Look at that. Okay, wouldn't always work out like that, but either way, got the super secret room. And you may be wondering how I was able to tell. It's likely the super secret room is on the last square before the boss. It's not guaranteed though, but when you've played as much Isaac as I have, you kind of get a feel for it. You can kind of tell by the layout of the room. As for example, here there's only one side that doesn't have a door on it. And this on the right is not adjacent, it's not connected to this boss room. So it's all by itself. So it's very likely to be at the end there. I tend to leave and come back in this room excessively, since those orange flames, they'll shoot you, and it's a good way to despawn the bullets. lot of hearts I can't use, but I do have a bomb. So now I can get this soul heart and be a little bit safer. So now if I get a bad trip pill though, I'm going to lose out on my soul heart. Probably would have been a better idea if I had used the pill before grabbing that, just in case I do get a bad trip. But sometimes you can't anticipate everything. Larry Jr. He's not that hard, as long as you keep your distance. It does get a little dicier once he splits into multiple pieces, but he's definitely one of the easier bosses of the Binding of Isaac. Now it is kind of helping when I miss, because it tends to hit him still with this item. To be honest, I can't even pronounce the name of it, so I'm not going to try. Okay, so I got 2 pills, and pro tip, if you leave the room and you come back, the poops that are on the field in the boss room, normally when you fight Larry Jr., they drop nothing, but now that I've left the room and came back, there's a chance they'll drop coins and hearts. So if there's a lot of poop, or you're fighting 2 Larry Jr.'s in the same room, you leave and come back, then you'll probably get a lot of varieties of coins and hearts. Okay, so I have no keys, no bombs, so there's no reason for me to attempt to try to find the secret room. Well, actually, there is a last hurrah. Like I said before, if the pill is a explosive diarrhea or Horf, then I could potentially open it. I'm gonna give it a shot. So Horf, you can blow yourself up, so make sure you don't hug the wall when you use this. Just run towards it as you're using the pill. Also, I think the secret room's here because it's in between the treasure room and the room with the heart. By the way, I should turn on this right here so you can see the items constantly. Alright. And the way I know where to bomb is if you walk forward, right when the screen moves, you see that? Right when the screen moves, that is the point of when the secret room would be. If it's here, this is exactly where I need to bomb, because that's right when the screen moves. Alright, so here I go. Probably not going to be in my favor, but here I go anyway. Look at that. And this is why I try this with every pill that I don't know about. You never know. The odds are not in your favor, but it's there. Well, okay. I was about to be upset. Well, not really upset, but disappointed. But hey, I got a poop trinket. And you see the green shimmer on this? It's a lucky penny. Okay. All that's left now is to use the other pill. Not very helpful. Going into the curse room's pretty risky for Judas, especially at the beginning. Definitely wait till you have a lot more health before doing that. Okay, so I can go in this boss room here. Well, no, I can't do anything. I don't even have a key, so forget it. But anyway, these barrels, I always blow them up. You can curve your bullets to hit them. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes there might be a crawl space if you're really lucky. Any rock you blow up in a level has a chance of being a crawl space. It's pretty rare, but the odds are there. And you can't have more than one crawl space per level. technically you could spawn another crawl space. So let's say, for example, if you have the item "We need to go deeper," which creates a hole in the floor that either creates a crawl space or takes you to the next floor, you can technically create a second crawl space, but it leads to the same exact crawl space, so it's a little bit redundant. Okay, so I really wish I had a lot of health here because of the blood banks and this devil beggar, but I don't. I'm tempted to use the regular beggar here. I generally recommend having a bare minimum of 15 coins before you start paying out to the beggar, because he sometimes, if he's not very nice to you, he might just take your money and not give you anything. But the more money you give him, the more likely he'll drop an item for you. But there's always a risk that he won't, so that's why you want to make sure you have a little bit of cash before you start investing to the beggar. So this is where the secret room is most likely, but I have no bombs. This room really isn't that bad, just circle around. But pro tip, if you have Isaac's heart, be really careful, because even when the spikes on the edges of the screen are not deployed, the spike traps, it'll still hurt Isaac's heart. I literally lost a 100 streak to that problem. Anyway, I have no keys, so I should stop circling. So there's two close quarters here, so I popped my Book of Belial. Forgot I could have used that on the previous boss, but it just passed my mind. But not like Larry Jr.'s that hard anyway. Although I do kind of regret using it now, because here comes the boss. But in some cases, the bosses are easier than some of the rooms, actually. Just because bosses, they usually don't have a random pattern, as in you kind of get used to what moves they have and you can learn to expect it. But a lot of rooms, you just kind of have to pray you don't get something insane. Alright, I got a key. So before I hit the boss, it's usually good to explore the treasure room before you go to the boss. That way you're a little bit stronger than before. Alright, so Dad's key. I don't have any bombs, so I can use that to either open up the secret room. You know what? There is a battery. So I'm going to use it to open up the secret room first. I was right. That's where it is. Look at all this money. Alright. So I have a lot of money. I need to grab that battery and open up the shop. Also, you saw the donation machine there. I leave it at 996, just in case you bump into one, because I don't want to blow it up. Because at 999 coins, it resets back to 0, so you can't use it in the future to get money. Because you can bomb it for coins, but if it has no money, you don't get any coins from it. These are okay. I mean, with the Book of Belial, it's only 3 charges anyway, so this isn't... The jumper cables aren't super helpful at the moment. I think it's every 12 enemies you kill. I don't know if that's the exact number for sure, but every 12 enemies you get a charge. For this spacebar item, not, at least for the Book of Belial, isn't too helpful. Especially since you can't use 2 Book of Belials in one room. Or you can't use it twice, rather. So... I need a key for next level. I also want to play it safe and buy another soul heart. So now, I think I'm going to just take the blue map. That way I'll always know where the exit or the secret rooms are and don't have to gamble. Although, so far I've had, I think, 100% success rate since the first episode. But, you know, this is only episode 2. Okay, no Book of Belial is up, but that's alright. Here we go. So it's a champion little horn. I actually don't remember the difference between the champion and this regular version. So far he hasn't thrown any bombs at me yet. I guess it might just be that he's spewing out a lot of these orbs. So just make sure you keep destroying them. This is where Judas really comes into play. As with other characters, you might struggle to kill his projectiles, but Judas just kind of wrecks them, even without the Book of Belial. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Got a soul heart out of the deal too. Tears up. It's fantastic. Let's give the devil room a shot. And wow. This is spectacular. But I have to make a decision. Now it costs 2 hearts. I only have 1. Doesn't matter. It'll cost 2. I'll only lose 1 heart. The reason why I'm struggling to make a decision here is because I actually want both of them. This would really make me very strong. But it's risky. That's what devil rooms are all about. So I know at the very least... What the heck? You know what? Grab that. I've lost my 1 heart. I gained soul hearts from the last item I picked up. And then I'm going to grab Incubus. I'm only with 2 hearts, but look at this. Now I have a lot more tier rate, so I can charge up these tiers and explode them because I have 2 sets of tiers now. So I think it's going to be worth it. I'm not going to go in the curse rooms. Too risky. I'm just going to leave. Curse of the turn up the brightness on your monitor. Oh boy. Okay. So normally I would kite these guys around and let them blow up the mushrooms, but my health is not in great shape. So I'm just going to kill them, and maybe I'll show you that on another video. It's good to use your Book of Belial wisely. For an arena like this, it's pretty much always a good idea, especially since by the time you leave the arena, your Book of Belial is going to be fully charged. All these hearts and I can't use them. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to control where my tiers are going now that there's so many of them exploding everywhere. So you want to stay away from barrels if you don't have control like I do right now. By the way, I always destroy every barrel as well, because you might get a burnt penny if you're lucky. You also might get a matchstick, which makes bombs drop more often. But this burnt penny is awesome. Any coin I pick up has a 50% chance of dropping a bomb now. Could be a troll bomb as well though, so keep on your toes. Now the question is, do I want to bomb for this key or save it for the secret room? I think I'm going to save it for the secret room, and if I get more bombs later, I'll come back for this. It's usually a good idea to trade a bomb for a key, because keys are harder to get than bombs. Mom's wig, it gives you a little bit of health, but I don't have any, so that's irrelevant, but it makes random spiders appear. Alright, I'm gonna go and get the secret room. And I got my bomb back. Generally, it's better to prioritize the weaker enemies as opposed to attacking the fat bats, but these guys run, and the fat bats were in my face, so that's why I attacked them first. It's so dark I didn't even see the door. But I think you see why I took those, well, both of the devil deals. I just walk into a room and less strategy is required. I could just mow them down at this point. And once again, because of the overlay and because of the darkness, I didn't even see the door again. Yeah, so as long as I don't screw up, I'm going to be in really good shape. But as you learn your limits, you'll realize how many devil deals you can get away with. When you're starting out, when you're first playing Isaac and you're not that great, you still are going to want devil deals. But you want to be a little bit less risky on the decision making. So let's say in my situation where those 2 devil deals were, probably only want to take one as opposed to both. Especially since it's a 2 heart devil deal and I only had 1 heart, so I actually made profit on that. Now that's deadly because at the very right next to me, to the south of me, there was that boom fly. So you have to, when you walk into a room, you have a split second to decide. Like I had to stop shooting him or he would have blown me up. The developer of the game, I think at one point said there aren't any rooms where you're guaranteed to get hit. But I don't think that's true. In fact, somewhere on Reddit there was a compilation of all the rooms where you're forced to take a hit. So I know that's not true. Okay, so if I blow up right here, I'll be able to reach it. So it's formed a bridge with the rock. Now one more and I get the golden key. Totally worth it. So now I can open as many doors as I want. And thanks to this burnt penny, I could pretty much get any secret room I want. And if I had more money, I'd... Oh, that machine reminded me that I totally forgot about the arcade on the previous floor. Whoops, I could have probably done something, maybe even bomb the beggars and get some loot out of the deal. But I forgot. So the blanket's one of the newer items. I believe it gives you a shield when you go and fight the boss. But the thing is, I don't even have enough money for it. So I'm just going to move on for now. And you may remember I mentioned that if I had enough bombs, I'd go back for that key. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Now, Mom's wig is pretty good. I got all these spiders following me now. But the best spider item is Infestation 2. And what that does is it just, when you kill an enemy, it's guaranteed to spawn a spider as long as you kill it and not another spider. So in about 2 rooms, you have a spider army and you're unstoppable. I think it's a pretty underrated item. Dark 1. So I'm popping Belial. Gonna pop some flies. So, unfortunately, I can't give much explanation on this because he just got decimated. But you'll want to kite him a little bit. Well, not really kite. You want to strafe. Stick to the sides. Don't go to the south or the north of him. Because he'll blast you with brimstone. Actually, I think you can get away on the north side. The south, that's when he does brimstone. But either way, I stick to the sides, and I kind of play the bull and the matador kind of situation. Just bait him. Well, unfortunately, he had to die so quick I couldn't really show you much, but that's what you want to do. And this is what I need, health. So now I'm in a really good situation. If I wasn't making this video, I probably would have made a beeline for the boss rush. Because if you kill Mom within 20 minutes, then you get the boss rush. And with this amount of damage, I probably could have made it. But that's alright. Maybe I'll save that for another video. I want to do this, but I need to wait for my Book of Belial to charge. A rotten penny, you pick up a penny and it gives you a fly. It's nice, but I'd rather have more bombs. Now, a risk, and I'm probably going to say this in every video as well, of doing this boss arena when you hit the caves 1 or 2, or the catacombs, etc., is you might get a champion boss. Champion Ma and Champion Mega Fatty, which is the hardest combination to deal with. And I said catacombs, but that's actually an alternate floor to the basement. So any tier 2 level is what I'm trying to say. Like the watery caves, etc. So yeah, this is a pretty successful synergy here, and you see why I took both those devil deals. And now that I'm firing double tiers, this is finally where that very first item I picked up is actually becoming beneficial. Because there's so many tiers on the field, they grow giant immediately. A little dangerous though with the troll bombs. And normally you'd want to use the terrain to your advantage here, because if you kind of curve shot it a little bit, you can not get hit by the chargers and not be in line of sight, so you're kind of safe. Or if you're Judas with the items I have, just hold the attack button and you win. Alright, so it definitely would be wise for me to bomb this, because I might get my bombs back by picking up the coins they drop. Or there's a very rare chance it could spawn into greed. That's something you have to take into consideration, unfortunately. If you're low on health, you may just be innocently bombing one of these shopkeepers, and then suddenly it's greed, and then you're dead. So take that into consideration if your health is low. And you may have also noticed that both of the coins I picked up that dropped bombs, they dropped troll bombs. So you're never safe in this game pretty much. Don't worry about being strategic and waiting for them to pop their heads out. Just shoot them constantly even when they're not doing that. It'll be a little more time consuming, but it's safer. Those spiders, you just kind of have to learn where to move your body when they explode, because it shoots out in all directions, but there is a little bit of safe spaces in between all of the tiers they shoot. Alright, this is okay. Only thing I don't like about it is it's dependent on you getting hit. And, I mean, the goal is to not get hit in most cases. But with things like brimstone, it becomes a really deadly weapon. Because instead of shooting tiers in all directions when you get hit, it shoots brimstone in all directions. Look, it'd be super deadly. I got a lot of money, so I'm gonna go ahead and give the shop a try. Oh, this looks familiar. Now, if I was really lucky, the greed that was in the secret room could have dropped a Steam sale as well. And if you have 2 Steam sales, all the items in the shop are absolutely free. In a previous version of the Binding of Isaac, if you had 2 Steam sales, you could also, strangely enough, get devil deals for free. But that has since been patched out. That would have been painful if I was anyone but Judas. So we know the secret room's to the south, because it's on the map. But, I mean, look at this room. It even looks like it. There's a nice space here. It's not adjacent to anything, so I would have bombed this anyway. There's this room again. Kill the flame, leave, kill the flame, leave, kill the flame. Alright, I can dodge the rest from here. When they're in your face, it's kind of hard to dodge. Oh, I need to be careful I don't blow up the barrel here so I can just push the chest to it. Not have to waste a bomb. Yeah, I know I got 12 bombs, but I like to conserve items. Okay, I got an 80% chance of a devil deal. This should be... I think the odds are definitely in my favor here. To be fair, though, statistically they are. So I don't know what the point of that statement was, but it's too late for that, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna pick this up just in case. You never know what to expect in a double room. Okay, so, decision time. Do I take Guppy's hairball? Really, it's not that helpful. I mean, it does block shots, and you could spin it to damage enemies. Really, the only reason why I would take it is a shot at transforming into Guppy. But the thing is, I only have 1 heart, and I'm almost halfway through the game without any Guppy items to begin with. So I'm just going to leave it and save my health for later. There's 2 more rooms to explore, but I'm in a pretty good position. I'm just going to continue. Generally, it's advisable to explore all the rooms if you can handle it. Once you reach the womb, though, since you take a full heart of damage as opposed to half a heart, don't bother exploring every room once you hit the womb in most cases. You'll just want to make a beeline for the exit. In my opinion, the womb is actually harder than the cathedral. Mostly because the cathedral has lots of bosses. They're predictable. The womb has bouncing enemies that burrow underground. It's not easy. I remember when I first played Binding of Isaac, that was a huge difficulty jump once you hit the womb. So I have a lot of keys. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to blow this up, and I'll get a bunch of bombs back. So in the end, it really only cost me 1 key, and that's worth it. And now I'm in a position to go in the curse room because I have plenty of health right now. So, there is a risk involved here. I would love to take this. I'm still going to take it just to see what I get. But if it's the curse of the tower, every time you get damaged you drop a bunch of troll bombs, then it's going to I'm gonna have a bad time. Or if it's Cursed Eye. Well, actually, Cursed Eye would be great because I have Incubus. Cursed Eye is glitched with the Incubus. And you'll be shooting tears at rapid speed. Curse of the Tower. There it is. That's what I did not want. Essentially, this means I'm not going to be able to use blood donation banks anymore. It also means I'm not going to be able to use any devil beggars, because I'll just stab myself and then I'll drop a bunch of bombs by default, and the machine will blow up or the devil beggar will blow up. But I had to see what it was, right? You can't blame me for that, can you? Alright, so I have the option to go to the boss, but it's always, well, almost always safer to try to find the treasure room first. It's good to be as strong as you're able to be before you fight a boss. Now, an exception to that is, let's say you have no soul hearts and just a bunch of regular hearts. You'll want to probably go straight for the boss instead, because if you lose even half a heart, you pretty much have lost your Devil Deal chance. So it's actually more of a risk to go explore levels, explore more rooms, since it's safer to go fight the boss in most cases, unless you don't know what you're doing. There's Curse the Tower. Well, at least it bombed the secret room for me, but it's not like I'm short on bombs. Now, great synergy for Curse of the Tower is if you have the safety scissors. The safety scissors make all troll bombs into regular bombs, so essentially means you're not going to blow up and you get a bunch of free bombs when you get hit. It's very nice. May have also wondered why I bombed the shopkeeper there, because it's going to raise my Devil Deal chance a little bit higher. Here we go, it's a gamble. Lost Fly. Not very helpful, but at least it's not a detriment. I have a lot of money. I can start gambling here. In fact, I'm going to, because I don't want to go to the shop and buy something during Curse of the Blind, because there's some shop items that really don't help you. In fact, it makes it worse. Like, for example, the bag of pills. Makes all runes and cards into pills instead. It's not, and that always pops up for me, so it's not worth the risk. Also, there's King Baby. He's also not helpful at all. He just makes it harder to use your familiars. Okay, now we're talking. So, I'm going to gamble on this machine. I'm going to hope for a bunch of soul hearts, and I could even use my Yarrow rune and double all the items here. So, since I have plenty of damage, this will give me a lot of defense, hopefully, and solidify my victory. I didn't get as many as I hoped, but I'm still going to use the Yarrow rune just to play it safe. I got 2 Chaos cards, the one-shot bosses, and the High Priestess, which may as well be a one-shot for the boss also. But I'll just take the Chaos card. Again, I got more rooms to explore, but I'm sitting pretty right now, so I'm just going to move on. Now, when you use the Chaos card, you want to make sure you run towards the person you want to hit it with. If you just use it, it might not go in the direction you expect. You want to run towards him and use it. The end. I do recommend taking this. You don't know if it's an HP up or not, but you want an HP up in this case, because now I have a devil room, and I might be able to get more deals out of it if I have more health. No HP up for me. That's all right. Let's go in. Okay, so if it's Curse of the Blind and you see a 2-heart devil deal, you know it's good. Could be a spacebar item though, which would replace Book of Belial, but I only have 1 heart. This costs 2, so it's a really good deal in my case because it's only going to get rid of 1 heart. And that was absolutely worth it. Lord of the Pit makes me fly, and I'm a lot faster. Absolutely worth it. Now I have a lot of bombs, so I'm going to try to get some soul hearts or dark hearts out of the deal and blow up some of these skulls. Want to make sure you get the most bang for your buck, so make sure you strategically place the bombs to blow up as many skulls as possible. Now, I could also do this for the blue flames. In fact, they have a higher chance of dropping a soul heart than a skull does dropping a dark heart, so I'm going to blow those up too. And you know what, this is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. Oh, I did have a chaos card. I forgot in the super secret room, but it's hard to keep track of everything. You never keep track of absolutely everything. You just kind of get better at it as time goes on. Now, if I stay in the pit, sometimes they don't actually open up, so I'm just going to go on the land here. These guys are really annoying, and the only way you really can figure them out is just to keep fighting them. But essentially, you want to approach them. Don't fire at all, otherwise they're unlikely to open up. And just keep backing up slowly from them. Because if you're really far away, they don't open up sometimes, so just kind of stay a little close and slowly move. Makes it a little bit easier when you use a controller, but you can still do it with the keyboard. You can just tap it. So I'm glad to see Super Greed in this room, because I've already fought Greed from a previous shop, and Super Greed's here. So pretty much means Greed is not going to show up in the shop. Or Super Greed. Ouch. Okay, that was pretty bad. Oh well. That was a mess. I was shooting the champion red spitter there, and it duplicated itself into 2. I thought I was going to stop him in time by shooting it, but I forgot. I didn't see which champion it was, so it split in 2 in my face. This just keeps getting better. I usually say that sarcastically, but this is great. So every few rooms or so, it's going to drop a soul heart for me. So I'm in really, really good shape right now. So at this point, I'm not really going to be exploring extra rooms intentionally. I'm going to focus on just getting the treasure room in the shop and getting out. You can take advantage of the black bonies by attacking them when they're next to the skull, so that way they blow up. In my case, it's negligible since I have so many extra bombs, but when you're low on bombs, it's a good way of taking advantage of them. Now you have to be careful using unknown pills when you're on tier 2 of the dank depths or the depths, because you want to fight Mom so you can get the Polaroid or the other one. And if you use a pill that's question mark, question mark, question mark, it turns out to be a teleport, you have a small chance of teleporting to the I am error room and skipping the Mom fight, essentially meaning you do not get the Polaroid. So I don't use unknown pills on this level. It's a very low chance of that occurring, but I've had it happen to me before. Okay, this is great because I got a re-rolling machine here. Gonna bomb it. Restock is really nice. The problem is I don't have that much money, and I can restock by blowing this up anyway. So I'm just going to skip it. Oh look, King Baby. No. I'll take you. Okay, might be overkill, but I mentioned that I probably could have raced to the boss rush. Now I don't have to. Use the Mama Mega. Every room you walk into blows up. It's going to open up the boss rush. On my last video, I botched it by going into the devil room first and then walking out of it, and then the boss rush room vanished. But this time, I know better. This is an amazing deal. I'll take that. Another amazing deal. I'll take the modem as well. Makes the enemies randomly stop. And I'm out of money. I could actually use the Hermit to steal an item from the boss rush room without having to fight the boss rush. But then I would be missing out on the next treasure item at the end of the boss rush. Since I take time to explain things and won't get the opportunity to do the boss rush very often in these videos, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, especially since I'm such in good shape right now. I could blow him up to get a devil deal chance increase, but if I go in the devil room and walk out, remember the boss rush room is going to vanish because I've been spending more than 20 minutes trying to get here. So I'm not going to blow him up. I don't want a devil deal. So I want the chance to carry over to the next level. Each time you miss a devil deal chance, the next level has a higher chance until it's capped at 100%. If the room's already open and it's cleared and there's extra spiders or enemies, just run away. Don't bother fighting them. It saves time. On a previous version of the Binding of Isaac, when you hit one of these traps and monsters come out, you can just walk out of the room. But those days are over. They've patched it. So there used to be a skull here. Mama Mega blew it up. And we have Dry Baby. Blocks the shot. And if it blocks a shot, it has a chance of damaging the entire room. It's pretty sweet. Okay, I got everything I want here. I'm going to do the boss rush. Stay in the middle. Don't stick to the edges because you'll get slapped in the face. Her hand randomly pops up from the sides. And keep moving a little bit. You don't have to move much to be able to dodge her foot. So as long as you're moving a little bit at least, like this, no matter when her foot drops, you'll know you'll dodge it. So you don't have to scramble around and bump into things, just slowly move. Another reason why I recommend the controller as opposed to the keyboard. But you can be pretty much just as good with the keyboard if you work hard enough at it. Okay, so I'm going to take the Polaroid. So there isn't really much of an advantage of taking the negative. It takes you to the dark room, but it doesn't have as many treasures as the chest. Since I'm doing the boss rush, I'm going to take the easier route, Polaroid. These items aren't the greatest, but this one's the best. Gives you a random stat up until you get damaged, and then if you do get damaged, next room it'll come back, but it'll be a different stat up. Or it could be the same, it's all based on luck. Now this boss rush, everyone's a champion right now. That usually doesn't happen, but that's something to take into consideration if you ever attempt a boss rush. You could get a harder champion set, in which case they all deal extra damage to you. And they usually have a little trick up their sleeve. Like that. Although actually that's irrelevant, because even if he wasn't a champion, he would, Monstro 2 would blow myself up just like that. That was dry, baby. I got Book of Belial, but no reason for me to use it since it only works once per room. I mean, I can use it again, but there's no damage boost, as you can see. Now, boss rushes are always a mess, but you know that every time you kill a boss, or a set of bosses rather, they always appear on the left and the right side of the boss rush room. So just, well, with the exception of certain enemies like that. But they usually spawn left and right side, so stay away from it, otherwise they'll spawn on top of you, you might get hurt. Now, one thing I like about the champion boss rushes is they do drop, a lot of them drop soul hearts, so I tend to make profit when I do this. Sometimes when this game has the same colors on same colors, like black on black in this case, it's hard to see. Some damage is just totally unavoidable. So you just gotta make sure you beef yourself as much as possible. Thanks to the Polaroid, I get that shield every time I'm damaged. That only applies if you have only soul hearts. Or if you have half a heart left. My shot speed's a little bit slow. I need to try to get in front of him if I can, but it's kind of hard and it's a little risky. There we go. Now, one thing that's nice about the boss rush is every time you clear a wave, your item recharges one charge. So depending on what item you have, that could be extremely helpful. Not helpful for me, since I have the Book of Belial, But let's say you have the Book of Revelations, which gives you a soul heart every time you fully charge it. By the time you're done with the boss rush, you'll gain a few soul hearts out of the deal. And there we have it. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work with Continuum. So Continuum takes advantage of long range and high shot speed, of which I have neither. So pretty much what this has done is well, it does give me spectral tears at least, so that's pretty much the only benefit I gain from this. And you can tell you're full on health when you can't even pick up a soul heart. It's Curse of the Unknown. Now in hard mode, you're much more likely to get a curse than normal mode. So that's something to take into consideration when you choose your difficulty. But for the most part, I recommend always sticking with hard, even if you're beginning. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but when you beat the game on normal, you don't unlock that much. When you beat the game on hard, you unlock the normal item and the hard item. So just keep playing, get good, keep watching these videos, you'll learn things. And just stick to hard mode, because that may as well be the normal for the binding of item. I probably should have just skipped this. I mean, I have maximum hearts, and that was just a brown chest. So I really didn't have much of an advantage by doing that. Now when you have the Hermit card and you're on the womb, it just teleports you to a random room, because there is no shop. Now the exception to that rule is there is a trinket that allows shops to be in the womb. Forgot exactly what it's called, but it looks like a silver coin. Maybe that's even the name of it. But either way, that's the only way you can get a shop in the womb. Now look at my tier rate. It's maxed. Thanks to that item that I picked up in the boss rush, now things are getting crazy. So I want to make sure I don't get hit, because I might not have the tier bonus if I get hit again. It might be a different bonus next time. When I go to the next floor, though, it is going to change. Or if I'm lucky, it'll be the same thing. Yeah, this is a mess with all those red guys floating around. That's why I popped the Book of Belial. So remember what I said about moving the map to see where the secret room is? Because you know on the map it's on the left side, but where do you bomb exactly? So just remember the rule. You move until the level moves with you, with the camera. See, it's moving now. It moves right here. This is when the camera moves. Drop your bomb there. Alternatively, if there's a door across the other side, you can just use that as a reference, and you'll know it's on the same line. Well, that's great, but I'm capped. I'm leaving it alone. I could grab it to replace a soul heart, but there might be a devil deal I want, which will remove my soul hearts. So that way I won't waste the dark heart. Speaking of waste, game over. Lost the tier bonus. Now it's speed bonus. Now, it won't be as strong now, but it's alright. I also have the option to use a sacrifice room because I have so many hearts. We'll see how it is once I kill the boss. But don't really have much of an advantage doing that right now. Oh. I thought the bomb would be stuck in here, but no, he squeezed his way out. Gotta watch out for those corners. People, I mean, your character has trouble going through corners, usually can't. But the monsters, especially the spiders and troll bombs, can squeeze their way through. Super troll bombs, rather. The Sack of Sacks. Randomly drops a sack when you clear a room. Alright, well I may as well go grab the Dark Heart now. Fortunately, I've gone the wrong way this whole time. These guys are really hard to fight when you're not super strong, since they spawn a lot of these like tumors, and then when you kill those tumors, they shoot at you. So you constantly have to be dodging when you're attacking them. Jeez, I wonder how many tinted rocks I've missed during this. I feel like I would have found one by now. Oh, well, I think the game's mocking me because here's a tinted rock. Rune bag. This is... I got some pretty good sacks here. So, I could take advantage of this, but I'm going to the golden chest level, and every chest you open on that level gives you a treasure item. If I start wasting my keys here, I'm going to have less for the golden chest level. So I'm just going to move on. Okay, I have to admit, continuing with this is actually working pretty well. Especially when there's a lot of tiers on the field. Now for him, I have a choice to make. I can blow him up and pretty much make my Devil Deal chance 90%. Practically guarantee it. Because of Curse of the Blind, I prefer to get my Devil Deal next level instead. So I'm just gonna pay him out. If you have a chance for an angel room, if you make him pay out, you have a slightly higher chance of the angel room appearing as opposed to the devil room. Ooh, best item in the game. No, that's sarcasm. Mama Gertie. If you don't have flight, this fight is kind of a luck chance. Because she spawns spikes beneath you. All you can really do, from what I've seen, is just sit still and wait when the spikes are there. You have a better chance of not being stabbed by them if you just hold still. Okay, I don't know what to expect, but here I go. Now, unfortunately, when you have only soul hearts, you can't tell if it's a 2-heart deal or a 1-heart deal. Because when you have soul hearts, every deal is 3. So I can't tell which one of these deals is better, if any. So I have no clue to expect. I'm already doing very well in terms of damage, so I'm just going to not risk it. And before I go, I'm going to pop this pill. Balls of Steel, more hearts, that's great. I think I missed a pill earlier, but everything's fine. I'm not in a situation where I need every pill, so I'm moving on. What I tend to do is I wait for the right time and run through after destroying the red poop there. You may also notice that it turned into regular poop after this was cleared. Not every room does that, so don't bank on it. These guys are like those tumors I mentioned. You kill them, you dodge them. I guess I could spend my money and hope for some pretty fly defense, but 30 coins isn't that much actually to be gambling on the slot machine. But since there are no more shops anyway, I may as well just spend the rest of my cash. Try to pick up the money last, because there's a chance it could be a troll bomb and blow up the donation machine. And you may remember earlier why I mentioned I don't like Curse of the Tower, because it makes it so you can't use any donation machine. Here's why. Yeah. So that's a way you can kind of take advantage of the troll bombs. You can either shoot them or push them into the target that you want to blow up. It's a great way to capitalize when you don't have that many bombs. 996 is always the number I go for. It means it gives me 4 chances to bump into it by accident without blowing it up. Speaking of blow up, I don't have enough keys for this guy. That was worth it. So this is one of the best trinkets in the game. It boosts 4 of your stats. Most importantly, your speed, tears, and damage. It's a very awesome item. Now don't do what I did unless you have a lot of speed. Just take your time, let him pass, grab it, get out of the way. That's the best way to do it. Unless you have a lot of speed. Oh no, not a fly. Same here in this room. If you're on a flight, take your time, just run forward, stop here, then run forward like that. If you see a boss bar and there's no boss, it's pinned. So just back up. Now what I should have done actually is I should have looked at the map and noticed the super secret room up there. Super secret room is almost always near the boss, so I should have just head straight for that instead. I'll just leave that bomb behind, it'll be fine. But I don't want to leave behind the stone chest, so I'm going to go back to that. That wasn't very helpful. I'm also going to go to the curse room, because I have flight. If you have flight and you go through the curse room, on the way in it doesn't damage you. On the way out it does, though. And although Satan's here, you don't actually get a double item here. If you're lucky, though, sometimes there is an item on a pedestal for free. Now, I could walk out of here and get damaged, but I got the moon card, so these teleport cards, they're okay, but they're good for situations like this where you want to save a heart.
The moon.
Oh, fine, I'll grab you. Come home. And if you're really in bad shape, if you reach a big room like this, take your time, look for tinted rocks. When there's a lot of rocks, there's a pretty high chance of a tinted one. Not in my case, though. When I say tinted, though, this technically is not tinted. It just has an X on it on the bottom right. So you can get a clear difference here between the two. I recommend if you have trouble remembering, just find pictures online. There's pictures online comparing all the tinted rocks to the non-tinted rocks. I'm full on health, but there's a chance you'll get the small rock when you blow them up. Gives you tears up and damage up. Also gives you a little bit of a speed down, but it's worth it in most cases. Okay, let's fight It Lives. If you're just starting out, it's not going to be It Lives, it's going to be Mom's Heart. It's the same fight. It's just a different ending. I don't even know what hit me there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, let's go for the boss, or rather the devil room. Now Degas gives me a heart, a soul heart. So I want this, the multi-dimensional baby. It's very good, a little underrated, but it makes your tear shot speed a little bit higher when you shoot into it. And when you have this many tears, it's going to be a huge benefit. I think this is My Shadow. I think that's what it's called. Every time you get damaged, you spawn a little black worm that helps you. It's not very helpful. It's probably one of the worst devil deals, actually. To capitalize on the multi-dimensional baby, when you're shooting, I would just slowly back up. Because it follows you, and that way you can hit him, and he won't get behind you. I have the Polaroid, so I am going to the cathedral. That way I can see all the levels. Curse of the Lost, huh? Use your Degas rune, and now I can see the map. Trivial. So at this point, there's so much clutter on the screen from all my tears that I can't even see what's hitting me anymore. So that's the broken watch triggering, so everything's all slow. I like it because it tends to favor bosses more, as in when you fight a boss, you're more likely to get a slowdown with the broken watch, so it's very helpful. But there is a risk that it might be really fast instead. So a double speed boss is pretty scary. So for this, if you don't have flight, just kind of squeeze your way in, take your time. Or if you have flight, just do this. So I could take a pill, but right now there are no pills that could really help me that much. Speaking of not helping me very much, Steam sale, no more shops. They'd be free if there were shops, but there aren't any. I could take advantage of this now. There's a secret room to the south, and instead of going through here and hurting myself, I could just bomb my way out after all the tears stop exploding. The Mark. Damage and gives you a soul heart. It's also a devil deal that I almost always take. Now remember, you need 2 bombs for this to work. If you had no bombs, no more bombs, you'd just be trapped here and you'd have to exit through this gate and get hurt. So make sure you have an extra bomb before you do that. You also may notice that your devil deal chance is now 0. That's what happens when you're past the womb. You can still get to the devil room rather. You just have to have another way of getting there. Like for example, a Joker card, or if you open a red chest, there's a slight chance you might be teleported to the devil room. This room's not very helpful for me right now with Judas, especially since I've spent all my health on devil deals. But this could be really useful earlier on, especially when there's a blood donation machine. You just stab yourself as much as you can, come back here and heal, and repeat the process. So It's a little time consuming, but I would take advantage of it in most cases. So the Isaac fight, I tend to circle. That's usually the safest. And when these beams come, you want to head for the corner. And that concludes this lesson here. Fortunately, I'm so strong right now that there really isn't much explaining to do when they just get obliterated in 10 seconds. Oh, apparently I'm low on disk space from recording this. I better manage my space a little bit better for the next video. And I better hurry up before I run out of space completely. Good. Good. Well, actually, Revenge Fly is okay. It blocks a shot and attacks your foe when you get damaged. The rest of this I'm going to reroll with Perthrow. Meh. And random tier effects. Sure, why not? Could be dangerous, though, because some of the tier effects can blow up. And when I have tiers everywhere, a little risky. But I'm doing fine. I'm going to risk it. Bear in mind, you can only get to the chest if you've progressed in the game far enough. So if the chest has never spawned after you defeat Isaac, just keep playing, you'll get there eventually. Mega Fatties, especially when there's two of them, just keep moving. Don't stop, because they'll stomp you randomly. Just like before, I'm going to head towards the super secret room on the map, because that's most likely where the boss is. Although with an Ansys rune, I can see where it is. I would have headed right, normally. But now I know it's not there. Don't waste your bombs if you don't have that many doing this. Just go around. Or alternatively, you can use that to bypass some of the scary rooms. But, like I've said before, this build right here is pretty powerful. So I'll be fine. And I got a lot of bombs anyway. Yeah, you stay to the north of him, you're fine. You're not going to get blasted. But I tend to stay to the side anyway. That way I can bait him into charging. That way he'll be less likely to do his tier spread move. There's a super secret room there, but my computer's running out of space, so I need to finish this video quick. Okay, the finale. Blue Baby. Same thing as Isaac, just circle around him. Some of the shots are homing though, so you gotta watch out for that. Another strategy is to use the Dry Baby as a shield. Just stay right here and fire right. The Dry Baby will block most of the shots. And that's the end. This concludes episode 2 of the Teaching of Isaac. Hope you've learned some things. And go ahead and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Hit that like button too. I'll be making more in the future. And see you guys on the next episode.